me a cheeseburger. He has insulted me in public. I've been waiting for this. When I get finished with this man, he knows he's going to be interviewed. I speak of none other than James Carville and his wife, Mary Madeline. Welcome. Right there. Hold the mustard. Wait a minute. Yeah, real love story, huh?
Didn't you always want to do this?
How in the world can you sleep with somebody when they're working with the enemy like this? Listen to this. Mary, he calls Mary in the middle of the night, that Bush lost. She's just done some red wine, and she's never been lower in her. She's out of it. He calls her. You imagine, he's, happy days are here. He calls her, and here is how she greeted him after waking and figuring out who it was. Here's Mary. I cannot believe you could live on this earth and knowing that you were responsible for electing a slime, a scum, a philandering, pot-smoking, draft-dodging pig of a man. You make me sick. I hate your guts. Mary.
I asked her if you wanted me to take that out of the book. It clearly isn't true. I love his guts.
Now listen to, show him this. This is from a documentary. You do get to speak, James. Hang on just a second. Here is James. This guy was 42 years old and broke and out of work and didn't know who he was and standing on a street corner. All of a sudden, whammo, he's in the middle of a presidential campaign, and holy cow, could it be? The Democrats are back in the White House, and here's his Newt Rockney speech to the troops. Go get him, James.
Every time that we get a Democrat that we can believe in, Roger Ailes and Georgette Mossberger, you know what she's the secretary of the person closest to Bush. You know what she said? She can't wait till this election's over so she can get her Maserati and her jewels back. If they knock us off, then so what? The next one that comes up, they're going to knock the next one off. And the next one and everything else. And you know what the kind of you're going to get? You're going to get the kind of Supreme Court that you got. You're going to get the kind of 4 different positions on civil rights that you get from them. You're going to get tax breaks for the wealthy. You're going to get a guy that doesn't know what a grocery store scanner is and everything else.
I'm for him.
I know you're for him.
Mary,
I'm sandwiched between 2 Democratic demagogues.
Yeah, but
I'm ready for you both.
Mary, I want to love you. I really do.
You do love me. You just don't like my party.
Oh, I don't like a party that has turned its back on, for example, African Americans all these years. I don't like a party where Pat Buchanan gets up at a convention and talks about cross-dressing and where you have to believe in Jesus. Are there Jews in the Republican Party, by the way?
Oh,
and doesn't this bother you? What's happening to this grand old...
Did you 2 do a blood transfusion before the show? I'm not gonna... No, that's absurd.
Absurd.
It's all absurd.
You just heard your husband.
Do I listen to him? This is why we don't talk politics at home. That actually, that clip was from New Hampshire. He's attacking our boss, Roger Ailes.
Right. Roger Ailes and Georgette Mossberger both came to the wedding. So I was a little like
they
that.
Both came.
I would have felt like, if I knew y'all were going to come to my wedding, I wouldn't have said that.
Listen, Madeline thinks on her feet. I'm telling you, whoa, when you get the microphone up to Madeline, you got yourself an interview. Watch this. Go get him, Mary. On the tarmac.
I am saying it is vintage Clinton, that it is a pathological pattern of deception. He is an obsessive politician. When he has been asked about his anti-war activities in the past, he has hedged, bobbed, and weaved. He organized, he marched, he wrote, he spoke. If we cannot believe anything he has said about his past, how can we believe anything he's saying about the future?
Mary,
that hair. How you let me go through the campaign with that hair? It was my fault.
Something I don't worry about. I don't worry about my hair in the campaign. After the campaign.
Follically challenged, as they say, in your party.
Yeah. But, you know, it's beyond the rhetoric here. You know, it is hard to... I believe you guys are in love. I think this marriage is going to last forever. But I'll be damned if I know how. I don't understand this. I mean, you do believe this is an elitist party? You believe that George Bush has been up there with the, you know, wonderful record of public service, but certainly not down among the people. Ronald Reagan tripled the national debt.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, I notice people say, well, Clinton can't remember what he did in Moscow 30 years ago. Well, prevaricate, these are the people that said, read my lips, no new taxes. The central plank of Ronald Reagan's platform was he's going to balance the budget. I mean, let's get serious here.
So
you know,
you're going to accuse us of lying.
Yeah,
let's take a look in the mirror.
I mean, when you go tell one, tell a whopper.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, tell people. I mean, this guy ran for president of the United States saying, I am going to balance the budget. I mean, that's being real candid with people. Yeah. I mean, that's what we need. Somebody will stand up and really lie through his teeth.
I'll tell you what about the Ragin' Cajun here. Here is LSU's own James Carville. Certainly raised loving middle-class background. Nobody did him any favors. Marine Corps guy, you know, eats nails for breakfast. You remember the...
he was a vegetable chopper in the Marine.
Well, whatever he was.
He was assigned to the kitchen.
Now, it is the day before the election. And everybody is obviously shot. I mean, really tired. But it looks like the Democrats are going to go back to the White House. We can only imagine. He's got arrayed before him all those 22, 25, 28-year-old people who worked hard, did the job. It's the eve of the election. They think they're going to win. And James Carville stands up to thank him. The man cries at card tricks. He can't help it. Watch this.
I was 33 years old before I ever went to Washington, New York. I was 42 before I ever won my first campaign. And I'm happy for all of y'all. You've been part of something special in my life. Now, I'll never forget the job done. Thank you.
Now, that's nice. That's nice.
It is nice.
The man's got himself a teddy bear of a heart here.
He's a big teddy bear. He's a big love button. You want to hear the horrible thing about that, Bill? The night we got home, that was part of, I guess that's from the War Room, right? The D.A. Penny box.
That's from the War Room.
But it was also in this Koppel special. And after we got back from Houston, upon our defeat, hadn't slept for a week, and totally hungover, I came home and curled up in the fetal position on the couch and turned on the TV. And there's James Carville, his serpent head filling the screen, his lips quivering and crying. It was like the Twilight Zone. It was an out-of-body experience. I was afraid to turn the channel for fear he'd be on every single station.
So we should assume that this vulnerability was certainly part of the attraction, right?
We're both vulnerable people. I mean, I think that we both have, you know, we've earned a tough living and a tough business, but I think we're both vulnerable people. And I mean, every day, I think that we go by and we find out how vulnerable we are, and you know, we're just people like everybody else.
Yeah, you could really hurt our feelings,
yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not going out of my way to do that, but when you managed Governor Casey's campaign, would-be Governor Casey's campaign in Pennsylvania, you were behind, and you got a picture of Bill Scranton from the Vietnam War, late 60s, long hair. Bill Scranton III, I think this is. The son of the former governor of Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
Nice guy. You know, I assume he's got kids and a dog Spot. And you said you accused him of going to the Maharishi Yogi Mahogi or whoever he is.
No, I didn't. That's exactly.
The voiceover quoted Bill Scranton as saying his goal was to bring transcendental meditation to state government. The ad never said the word marijuana. What it said, though, not in so many words, was that Scranton was a hippie. Yeah. I want to show you what you did.
All right.
You had a picture of Scranton with a headband like that. Isn't this right?
I remember it was a picture of Scranton. Yes, it was a picture of Scranton.
Something like this.
Right.
It's you, Phil. It's you.
Now, and the guy had long hair too. Now, the guy was what? Probably 19 years old at the time, 20?
He's probably 22, 23, whatever. Yeah. Okay, right.
And you won. You won by doing this to him.
Well, first of all, this is an interesting thing.
I mean, Jay.
Do you know what the name of that spot was? It's called Time. And it was taken out of Time magazine. It was written in Time magazine. Now, everybody knows when something is too dirty for a consultant to do, give it to a reporter. They'll write anything. I mean,
yeah.
That's the first rule. You know, if it's too slimy for political people to deal with, call a journalist. It doesn't matter. There's nothing that they won't deal with. No, that was taken. The script from that, the spot was called Time. It was taken out of an article that appeared the week before in Time magazine.
You won, James. You won the election.
Oh, we did.
But, I mean, even you, I mean, I'm asking you merely, I don't think you're going to hell for this. But, I mean, this is where...
I'll tell you what.
Well, wait a minute.
That's the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Well, but, I mean, you did alter a major political office occupant just on the basis of the imagery that you resurrected from a guy when he was in college. May I also say to you that we tried like hell to get that spot. We wanted to show where we are here in American politics. Almost finished, James.
Okay.
The governor's office told us that they refuse to allow this ad. They've got this, apparently, bodyguards, and they will not allow it to be seen on the airwaves, to use their words, ever again. The governor, as you know, is not up for re-election, and his office said to us he does not want to be, quote, remembered for that negative campaign spot, unquote. They're ashamed of it.
Number one is, let me just say something. You know what Yogi Berra said when he told him the mayor of Dublin, Ireland was Jewish? Only in America. Now, only in America could someone who works for Bill Clinton say, gee, are you going back to what this guy did in college and trying to make that an issue?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, only in America. I mean, if anybody what they did in college was scrutinized, going back, and everything else by the media. Look, the guy, when he was the chairman of the Republican Party, said he wanted to bring transcendental meditation to state government. I think that's a legitimate issue. I'm sorry. I think if you say, I think we ought to bring TM to state government, I don't think that's a legitimate issue. Mm-hmm. But I think, that's all I can say. I don't know what the governor's office told you or what anybody else told you. The other thing is, and I've talked to Scranton's campaign manager about this before, who both had the same opinion that the spot didn't alter the election 2 votes.
You think this spot wasn't determining?
No, I don't.
You were behind when you started the spot.
Actually, we probably weren't behind.
You in the book about it's the spot, the guru spot that turned it around for Casey.
Where did I say that in the book?
We created what we call the guru spot.
Okay.
By Friday... By Friday, the polls were down to 1 point. We had made up 7 points in a week, and we were heading for the close. We created what we call the guru spot. We got a picture of Bill Scranton in college, long hair, beard, scruffy looking, 60s clothes, headband. Also one of the Maharishi, well...
But why does he say that we won the spot? I'll say in that. I mean, you see...
Well, why would you tell us this? And why would the governor's office be so protective of this? We'll be with you in a minute, Mary. Just stand by here for a second.
Because I wrote a book.
You wrote a book and you wanted to tell the truth?
I told about the spot. I don't think the spot won the race. I don't know the race. I think we run the race by percentage of 75,000 votes.
Yeah, we got a break here, James. You'll be pleased to know that. But here's the point. Well, here's the point. This is spin. This is spin. This is where we are politically in the freest, longest-running democracy in the history of the universe. Whether or not you get elected depends on who can pull what kind of a black and white picture out of your duffel bag from the Army or from the 60s. We shouldn't be making decisions like this. Now, does that make me pious to say this? I mean, I've never met Bill Scranton, but I bet...
I told it. I worked for a man who they went back to God knows, they drug up everything that they could find about him, relevant, irrelevant, drug it through. The media would do that. They had 60,000 reporters
down there. So you got to start throwing a little money. You're going to die out there.
It's a tough business, man. This ain't beanbag.
We'll be back to talk to Mary about those final moments on Air Force One.
It's so you. Leave it on.
I feel kind of stupid in this thing.
No, it looks like you. It's you. Right. It's you, man.
Right. We'll be back to talk to Carville and Matlin in just a moment.
Hello, AT&T? This is a member of True Rewards. My husband and I love your free miles and minutes.
But how about something for the kids?
A vacation at Disney World, perhaps. Stuff from the Disney store is lovely.
Now, only members of AT&T True Rewards can get a world of special offers from Disney. Just spend $25 a month on AT&T long distance.
Anything Disney is fine. Not for me, for the children.
Your true voice. Getting these things open shouldn't be like... What'll it take to pop this top? Can't someone pull it off?
Rubbermaid just made food storage easy with new Easy Tops containers made with amazing tops that are a cinch to open and a snap to close. And like all our containers, they've got that great Rubbermaid seal. So keeping food fresh is as easy as Easy Tops from Rubbermaid. Nothing's better made.
Can we trust Congressman Huffington? He claims he's for cutting government spending, but the hypocrisy index of the National Taxpayers Union lists Huffington because he promised to vote for big spending cuts, but voted for huge spending increases instead. Add that to the nearly $7 million in taxes a Huffington company owes California, and the millions in income taxes Huffington avoided by claiming a Texas residency, and you're beginning to know Congressman Huffington, the Texas oil millionaire Californians just can't trust.
Bill McCampbell versus Congressman Farr. McCampbell, for tougher immigration laws. Farr voted to liberalize immigration. McCampbell supports death penalty and longer sentences. Farr opposes both, even for the most violent criminals. McCampbell favors tax incentives to create jobs. Farr voted for the biggest tax increase in history. McCampbell, for term limits, refuses PAC money. Farr, against term limits, takes millions in PAC money. For Congress, Bill McCampbell.
Mary.
Philip.
The worst presidential campaign in the history of the universe. It was awful, awful, and it got worse. And incidentally, boy, don't you don't hand out too many, I was kind of disappointed.
I said it. You don't say I said in the book it was the worst campaign.
No, you didn't say that. I'm saying that. But I'll tell you what you said.
I like these odds here. Go on.
Well, I mean, first of all, boy, don't you give it to Sununu. Pow!
You know what? I couldn't run a government. He can't run a campaign. I'm just saying he has the political acumen of a doorknob. That's what I said. But I could not be the chief of staff. I could not be a policy wonk. The man could read a volume this high in 20 minutes. That just did not help him politically.
Yeah. But we saw before our very eyes, this president seemed to be abandoned. Where was James Baker, this wonderful manager who did so many miraculous...
James A. Baker was a very successful Secretary of State.
Well, then he didn't he move over sideways? He's going to take charge of the campaign?
In the general election, that's right.
Nothing happened.
As the Clintonistas will see when they try to run a re-election campaign, it is very different from an insurgent campaign. The baggage of the White House, the albatross of the White House is just a daily grind.
Poor baby. I mean, wouldn't we all love to have that albatross? You get your own airplane, you get 8 o'clock Eastern prime time whenever you want it.
You know what you get? You get
a bunch of committees is what you get.
You get a bunch. Not only that, you get surrounded by Secret Service guys and security who would die for the President of the United States. And they make such a tight circle around the man that you're always disconnected from the people. It's a very discouraging business.
You tell us in this book that there were not a few people in the Bush campaign, the Republican effort here, that wanted to dump Quayle.
There were not a few?
There were several who did. Right?
Except the president. That's the only one that counted.
You wanted to heave-ho Quayle.
I never said that in there.
But I'm reading between the lines. As you know, I'm a very insightful guy. Didn't you?
I think if I wanted to say that, I would have put it in there. No, I was an agnostic on it because the data that we had showed that he was a drag on the ticket in a vacuum. There's no such thing as a vacuum in politics. There would have been an outcry from the media. You would have been on our back. There would have been an outcry from his many, many supporters, and that I wasn't sure would have boomeranged back. So without specific data, and I was agnostic on it.
In a moment, later in our program, you will see a piece of the interview that I conducted with Governor Clinton during his appearance on our program.
Wonderful day.
You must have loved that show.
It was a great day. We were riveted to our
What did James say?
We didn't talk about you.
Yeah. James, what was wrong with that interview? Well, we'll ask you when we get to it. Happier time here. This young man gives a speech. This is nice what he said at your wedding.
Oh, at the wedding. No, you weren't a demagogue at the wedding.
No, you were nice at the wedding.
What did you do at the wedding?
Well, I just liked it.
Footage from the wedding?
This is nice, yeah. Show them.
How did they get footage
Bride
from
and
the
groom.
wedding?
Honey, I would only say that when one waits to 49 to do something that people generally do when they're 25, that there's a great deal of reluctance to do it, and when they go into it, they're pretty happy about it. And he who waits the longest and is the most patient gets the best bride.
I totally forgot. Where did you get that?
Oh, we got... I couldn't get the guru spot. I couldn't get the guru spot from Casey of Pennsylvania. Made you cry. Well, we're doing good.
Did you get that from my father? I haven't seen that since the wedding.
I don't know. And what a nice dress, huh?
Very well.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're a long way from beauty school, girl. In the future, so now you're doing Zell Miller in Georgia, are you not? And you're also managing the Harris Wofford campaign?
Consultant, I'm not
consultant.
Yes.
I see.
Okay.
So you don't have to be there every second.
No, but they tend to they put me on television when I'm not there. So what difference does it make?
Yeah. You mean you do commercial?
No, the Santorum puts me on TV.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, as in, this is obviously not somebody you want to vote for anybody matched up with this guy Carville. They're using you as a foil, are they?
They tend to, yes. But I would run against me if I was running against somebody as qualified as Harris Wofford, too. I don't blame them. I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah. Why does it have to be so mean, James? I mean, we're looking for a nice, robust debate, but, you know, you guys were...
Let me answer this. Your premise is faulty on these negative commercials. I'm not sure. Everyone wrings their hands and gets so crazy.
You can't tell me they don't work. They're using them because
You know what? Because every cycle, the number of gross rating points you had to put up, how many times you had to run the spot, increases to an ever-diminishing effect. People look at these commercials, and by law, they now just say, paid for by whoever, and they discount that information. You know where they get their real information from? The news media,
well, then why
news media.
Why are we spending $20 million in California to run for the United States Senate against Dianne Feinstein? I mean, you can't argue against the manner in which the media has controlled points you're talking.
I said this earlier, but it's not the fullness of Huffington's pocketbook that ought to bother people. It's the emptiness of his head. Okay? I mean, there have been plenty of people that have run for office that have been wealthy, and I think, you know, Senator Rockefeller, who I think is not one of the great senators, one of the great people in this country. I mean, you know, he went out, he spent his money to get an office. He helps people. Man, I don't think that's the wrong... I think we're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah. Is it fair to call the electorate's attention to his wife's predilection for a so-called guru?
What if 5 people quit the campaign because of the influence of the wife over this guy? Is what I read, and I think, I think it's sure. I tell you one thing: nobody ever didn't bother anybody to make Hillary an issue, did it? So why should they be bothered that if they're making, you know, his wife an issue? I mean, you know, you can't have it every way you want to. If you want to go there, you know, and attack Mrs. Clinton as viciously and meanly, as cruelly as any human being's ever been attacked, then don't jump up and say, oh, but you can't do that to us. We can just do it to you. No, you get to play this game.
Can I point out that Hillary has never whined, and in fact has been most angry when people say, quit pillaring Hillary. She does not.
I apologize for defending you, Mrs. Clinton. I apologize.
Well, she's not been victimized. She doesn't feel victimized. Quit treating her like a victim.
I don't say she's been victimized.
And you know what all this race says? Whatever you want to say about Huffington, that he's making any progress is more about Feinstein than Huffington. Whatever you say about him, that he's keeping up with her, says a lot about that candidate.
So that's not exactly a standing ovation for Huffington from a Republican strategist here.
I'm just saying
you know.
We're talking, of course, about the California Senate race.
Which, by the way, we don't know very much about.
We will read Bill Clinton on Donahue when we come back in just a moment.
The man, the broadcast.
He really speaks for us.
You haven't seen it till you see it on Geraldo.
Weekday afternoons at 2 here on KSBW 8.
If you have dental insurance, there's a good chance that in a few months, you'll be faced with a whole new annual deductible. So why not take advantage of what you've already paid for and see a dentist now before the new year begins? You already know how important it is to see a dentist regularly. That's why you have dental insurance. And right now, postponing just doesn't make any sense. So don't put it off. Call and make an appointment with the dentist today. And if you don't know who to call 1-800-DENTIST, and we'll help you find a dentist in your area.
Carpeteria buys more carpets than anyone in the West. So we get the best deals to give you the lowest prices. Right now, Carpeteria's store-wide clearance sale means you make no payments and pay no interest for 12 months with free padding and free installation. Everything in the store is on sale, including vinyls, hardwoods, area rugs, and carpet made with Anso crush-resistor nylon. Fashionable fibers underfoot. Remember, no payments and no interest for 12 months. Only at Carpeteria, 1024 South Main Street, Salinas.
Money. You could win $500 or $5,000 in cash with your KSBW 8 magazine being delivered now. Your lucky number is on the cover. Save it. The $40,000 cash call starts Monday, October 31st. Watch Ricky Lake and NBC Primetime to see if you match and win cash. Something important's happened today. Something you should know. And no matter where it happened, KSBW Action News 8 is working hard to bring it to you, to bring home the news. We think we have the right idea about news. We simply want to be your local news source. And that's why we're tuned in to the Central Coast and the world to bring you the whole story, to help a busy world make just a little more sense. KSBW Action News 8 every day. When it comes to your news, count on us.
To be a part of the audience, please send a postcard for free tickets to Donahue Tickets, care of NBC, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, 10112. Remember, postcards only, please. Be sure to include your phone number with area code.
High in the command of the Republican Party as George Bush seeks re-election to his second term as president, there is Mary Madeline, the deputy director of political something. And they don't know what to do about Pat Buchanan. Everybody's wringing their hands. What do we do? And Mary, you get right to it. I'll tell you what, you have very short meetings. You said, let's cut his balls off. They love it. And somebody...
You know, when you work with boys, you got to get down on their level.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
That's language they understand.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, Donahue and the governor. I was very, very pleased to feature the governor on my program, and he came more than once.
Right. I think 3 times. I can recall.
Yeah. All Donahue wanted to talk about was Jennifer Flowers. We went on the show and figured we put the story to rest, writes Carville. But on the air, Donahue kept raising her wildest allegations and going right after Clinton. And then you point out that the audience stood up for you. Here's part of that piece. Donahue and the governor from Arkansas. Primary campaign. Throwing myself on the media sword here then, and assuming that I will not enjoy the top of your most favored media list, if I were to ask you if you had an intimate relationship with Jennifer Flowers, you would say what?
I'd say what I've always said. I told the truth, and so did she the first time. So I've given you the answer.
So that this is a lie?
Her story is not true.
So that the story about putting a newspaper at the back door so you could get up to her apartment at the Quapaw Towers is a lie?
The Jennifer Flowers story is not true. I've said it repeatedly. I have nothing else to say about it.
May I just call your attention to some of the things that appear on the tape, which you allege has been edited and...
No, I don't allege. The Los Angeles Times and another news organization said that it had been.
You said to her...
We're going to sit here a long time in silence, Phil. I'm not going to answer any more of these questions. I've answered them until I'm blue in the face. You are responsible for the cynicism of this country. You don't want to talk about the real issues.
You want to talk about this, James? Your feeling about this?
Well, I mean, when it was over, the way it turned out, I think it, like a lot of things, it actually, I think, helped us. I mean, I think, to some extent, I think that the reaction to the audience, I mean, looking at it through the prism of history, probably helps. And if I remember right, we came back on your show shortly after that and did a debate with Jerry Brown.
Alone, without me. I mean, that was the deal.
But I know, but we came back. And then I think we came back. Wait a minute, let's be fair now.
Go ahead.
We came back later on in the campaign and did a show with you, too.
From Nashville.
From Nashville.
Yes.
And so
you're not...
I don't, you know, in the end, I think, you know, like a lot of things that happen, I think tough questions sometimes turn out just as good for the person being questioned as they do for the question. And I think that was probably a situation where you asked what you thought was some tough questions, and he did that, and I think that it probably helped us in the primary.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. Now I ask you both, I mean, I bet you wouldn't want to run, would you?
Phew, I wouldn't run for nothing but the state line, man.
And the reason for yes, and you probably feel the same way, do you, Mary?
Yeah.
Now, isn't this interesting? Now, how cynical do we want to be? Here we have the two primo operatives of the 1994 president. You are historical figures. I do not patronize you to say this. This is a hell of a thing that you went through. What a magnificent odyssey to be there right in front and watch the most powerful officer in the world. And neither of you would run for public service. I can't get over this. What's happening to my country?
Why does that? We're ill-equipped.
You would want me in public office.
Oh, wait a minute now. Let's not do altar boy, humble pie here.
Listen, you know, these public...
You don't want to do it because they're going to get every boyfriend you ever went out with in high school?
Well, their campaigns aren't long enough to get all of my boyfriends.
Really?
All of his girlfriends.
Does it bother you too at all that you, I mean, really, for a second, you know what I'm thinking? Let me just put it this way, James, and I'm in this. I think if you're gonna say, I want to run for office, by God, you got to accept every question comes your way, the dumb ones, the repetitive ones, the ones that are way out there, the ones who want to make a name for themselves. But I'll tell you what really, this isn't fair to Chelsea. This isn't fair to Chelsea. Who the hell would want to be in this fishbowl?
It's not the question not wanting to run for office. I wouldn't want to hold office. I wouldn't want to go to meetings and sit there and go to speeches and do all of the stuff and cut ribbons. I'd raise money. So why would I go through? And yes, they'd say, Mr. Carville, have you ever inhaled?
Yeah.
Of course. You ever bounced a check, man? I've hung enough paper in college, you know what I mean?
The point is, you'd answer the question. You wouldn't dance around it 100,000 times.
If I was running, I'd say, well, I think that these youthful indiscretions just, you know what I mean? I mean, the point is they could...
I mean, my God, you're only one imaginary line away from the office itself when you're that close to...
I think that this republic can survive the fact that Mary Madeline and James Carville don't want to run for public office.
That is not the point. That is not the point, James. I think it's at least important to examine how two people this passionate about political ideals, which I believe you are, who care very much about the survival of your respective parties, who worked all night long, got headaches, and, ate hamburgers standing up during this campaign, would never cross that line and be a... where's the patriotism, the statesmanship? Where's all those speeches that we heard?
Why don't you run? You're very passionate.
Well, maybe I don't. Maybe. Yeah. And then, you know what you'll do? You'll get the picture. You'll get the picture of me in the skirt, and there I'll go right through the floor. That'll be the end of me. Look what you did to Bill Scranton in Pennsylvania. I mean, this is the way it works today. This is craziness.
You look cute in that skirt. You got nice nails.
I do. That's the truth.
Get you far.
I think somehow we got to go back to drafting. Did you show it? You did? How did you call it up so fast? Show him again. See. What could Carville do with this? You go nuts with this. Then it'd be the end of me. It'd be the end of me. Seriously, I'm wondering if it's not better. There's something unbecoming about saying, hey, I want to be president. Oh, really? Sit down. Why don't we draft him again? I think we should draft.
Who's going to draft him?
I don't know.
Who's going to draft him? The power brokers? Yeah, why don't we go back to the way it used to be? Let's get 15 people with some cigars in the back room and draft them. Let's don't vote on this. It's too much trouble. Let's just turn it over. Let's get a committee of 15 people, rich people, and let them decide who it's going to be. You don't want to get your hands dirty and all this stuff.
I have a stupid idea.
Yeah.
No, it's not a totally stupid idea.
Thank you, Mary. I feel better. We'll be back to let this audience chat with this happy political couple in just a moment.
When this man comes down with a bad cold, he's just one step away from disaster. The last thing he needs is a cold medicine that may make him drowsy. So he takes Sudafed Cold and Cough. He knows Sudafed Cold and Cough will help clear his nasal congestion, suppress his cough, and relieve his body aches and pains without making him drowsy. When you need strong cold relief but need to stay alert, reach for Sudafed Cold and Cough. Clears you up without slowing you down.
I used to think lotions are just lotions. What's the difference? Not anymore. Jergens has created 6 different ways to moisturize your skin. One was made just for me.
Ultra Healing is for me. My skin is so dry, I need fast, long-lasting relief.
All my skin really needs is light care with aloe. It absorbs quickly and it keeps my skin healthy looking. And me, I use Dual Healing Cream because I need something extra to help heal my rough, dry spots. So what's the Jergens difference? Now you can choose skincare that's right for you.
If you have a green thumb or know of someone who does, check this out. It's a planting poster with ideas about what flowers and fruits and vegetables to grow in our area. Plus, Royal Sleuth America will include 1995 seed packets. So get in the gardening spirit and order your planting poster now. Remember, Christmas is right around the corner. To order, mail $5 to Planting Poster in care of KSBW 8, P.O. Box 81651, Salinas, California, 93912. Brought to you by KSBW 8 and Royal Sleuth America.
Deadbolt. I just smashed the door in.
You have good reason to want more home security. And right now you can have an ADT SafeWatch Plus home security system installed for only $199, plus $21.95 for monthly monitoring.
The house with an alarm system you skip. The others you go for.
The system links your home to our ADT Customer Monitoring Center, who can get police action when trouble strikes. Call now. ADT, there's no safer place to be.
How can someone you love so much drive you totally crazy? How can a person you live with for 18 years still have no idea you hate tomatoes? How can someone be reasonably open-minded about everything except the man you love? How can you be nothing alike and still have so much in common? Every daughter, every mom, every woman.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask, do you have any children, or if you're planning to have any in the future? How do you think your different political differences
They're going to be. These kids are going to be screwed up. There's no doubt about it.
Not because of our political differences, but they'll for sure be screwed up with these genes.
So whether you have kids is up to you, and you'll call us. Is that how you want to handle this?
You'll be the first to know.
I'll be the first to know. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been married, and how long did you go together before you were married?
You know what? We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
We started dating,
nice.
we started dating January the 8th, 1991, and we got married November the 25th, 1993. And
there's one particular point in your book, Mary, where you describe the way in which you were informed that James was going to run the political campaign, and it was important to me because it sort of showed me that finally that you had a human side. Mm-hmm. And were you really as devastated as you seem to be?
What he's referencing is I found out from a reporter over dinner after James told me he wasn't going to work in a presidential, that he had signed up to work on the Clinton campaign. This is after I hadn't seen him for months. And yeah, I was like getting kicked in the stomach, and I went to the bathroom in a very ladylike way and proceeded to puke all over the stall. I knew, because I knew what it probably had. That was my 3rd presidential. I knew what they were like, and I wanted him to be in love with me, not in love with his candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I lost twice.
On the negotiation with 60 Minutes regarding the Jennifer Flowers incident and this monumental decision to go on right after the Super Bowl, you didn't know who you were going to get, or you knew you were going to get Steve Croft?
I think we knew.
And you didn't go on Nightline because there was a difference there strategically. What was it?
Well, no, we wanted to go on Nightline. If I remember correctly, we couldn't get on Nightline because of the weather. What happened was we were invited to go on Weekend Newsmaker or something on CNN. Then later on, 60 Minutes called and said, we'll give you the time after the Super Bowl. And, you know, the point out in the book is we took the 60 Minutes thing after we had told it.
Right. Was the deal that there would be no edits?
No.
In other words, how long was the interview then?
It sounded like about 4 weeks to me, but I guess it ran about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
Just a guess.
An hour and a half, which they cut down?
To like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was never part that wouldn't be no edits.
Mary, do you think that George Bush, in his heart of hearts, gave up on his campaign?
No, because I was with him every day and I saw how he was behaving every day. But what you saw through the media's filter looked like that. And I never saw that until I came home, and every single thing I do like this or speech I give people ask me that question. So clearly the perception was that we had lost heart or we weren't fighting, which I can only explain as the media filter, because I was there with him every day and he fought it till the end. And, you know, these guys don't give up.
I've been in a lot of races and even situations where the candidate won. Well, you'd be surprised. If 4 or 5 days to go, they said, look, I've done everything I've done. You people just don't worry about it. I'm going to go out and campaign for the next 4 days. But, you know, if the people want me, they'll vote for me. If they don't, they'll vote me out. And I've had any number of candidates say, y'all get way too wrapped up in this stuff. And I don't know if that doesn't, in a lot of instances, not just candidates out behind, but sometimes when people run for office, I mean, I've seen it happen. There's just this sort of sense that they've done what they can, they've campaigned hard, and...
You know, they almost get serene at the end. It's people like me and James who end up on bathroom floors in the field position crying. And the candidates are out there, they're there till the end, till the last minute.
Right.
Yeah.
When we come back, I got more tough ones for you, brother.
I'll figure that.
I mean, we got employment down. The deficit is being reduced. We got lots of spin going. We got a successful military situation in Haiti. We get up there right in Saddam's face, and man, he's saying, wait a minute, don't misunderstand what I mean. Everything's going smooth. How come my president can't draw a crowd? What's going on here? Why is President Clinton Teflon when it comes to the good news? James Carville explains it all for us when we come back in just a moment.
One moment, you're a part of our life. The next, you're an interruption. Ricky, let's talk about it.
Please consider yourself to be under oath. Yes or no? Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive. Cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definitions of addiction. There is no intoxication.
We'll take that as a no.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive, and I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
Now the tobacco industry is trying to tell us that secondhand smoke isn't dangerous.
Not addictive, not addictive, not addictive.
Money. You could win $500 or $5,000 in cash with your KSBW8 magazine being delivered now. Your lucky number is on the cover. Save it. The $40,000 cash call starts Monday, October 31st. Watch Ricky Lake and NBC Primetime to see if you match and win cash.
Live at 5.
Not telling people how to think.
It's a lot of fun.
Being a mother, now I notice everything.
Often we'll be talking about things that you can do in your life, issues, again, news you can use, that sort of thing. But of course, we'll be the first newscast of the evening. If there's a big news story, we'll have it there, of course.
Journalist reporters are like coffee filters. You put all this stuff in the top and sift down, and hopefully what you end up with is a cup of something you can digest.
For a transcript of Donahue, send $3 to Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. To order a video cassette for only $24.95, just call 1-800-FOR-VIDEO.
My president went to Michigan the other day, James. It's an hour show. You can't fade yet now. He drew 1,000 people. That was rough. That's got to be rough. I mean, the man is working his heart out. So is his wife. And very few people want him to stand next to him in this campaign, this very ugly, angry campaign. What's going on here? And yet we got good news here. Democrats have a lot to be proud of.
Oh, first of all, I wish the president's poll numbers were better. Although I see the CNN Time poll has his approval rating up 7 points. But the point is that when you got accomplishments, the poll numbers will come. And I think what happened is, quite honestly, is the president came in and he said, we have got to do something about this deficit. So the first thing he did is he cut spending and he raised taxes. And so people said, gee, somebody's got to pay the bill here. As opposed to when Reagan came into office, he gave everybody a tax break and then increased spending. But I think that now people are starting to reflect back and say, hey, this guy's made some tough choices. And they're starting to pay off. And as you go further and further along, not just low unemployment, not just the fact that this is the first time that the deficit has gone down for 3 years in a row and we've cut $565 billion from it, but on time after time after time, he stood in there. If it's Haiti, if it's Iraq, somebody just told me in North Korea today they've made this deal that's very favorable to the United States. Out of the details I don't know, but I was told about this. I would rather have the accomplishments, and the poll numbers will follow. You have the poll numbers and not the accomplishments, they'll collapse on you. And I think as we get closer and closer, people are starting to say, this guy has taken a lot of CRAP, and he has hung in there. And he has fought back, and he has kept the faith and got the job.
My eyes have seen the glory. Well done, James. Contract with America? Newt Gingrich? Anybody who's pro-Clinton is an enemy of normal people? Newt Gingrich has got to embarrass you. Tell him, Mary, you can say it right now.
I am proud of what will be the next Speaker of the House, since we're going to win the Congress.
The next Speaker of the House. He's a pit bull. He's more interested in...
Takes one to know one, Phil.
Well,
there's even a resemblance.
That's a good one, honey. That's a good one.
Wait a minute. I mean...
I don't need your patronizing support.
Liberal Democrats, you know, he doesn't use the word Democrat. He's liberal. Everything's liberal, or as if, you know, spit the word out. Liberal.
Yeah.
Oink. What happened to statesmanship?
You know what happened to it? When Republicans, I'll say something good about President Clinton. He has done more for our party than any charity. Since he was elected, including seats that were unthinkable, the New York mayor's race, the LA mayor's race, Jersey City mayoral seat. Okay, let me finish.
Governorship of New Jersey, a sad moment in your own personal family history. Your husband,
I forgot about that,
presided over the losing campaign.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah, go ahead.
But upon the victories of two congressional specials, one that the Democrats held for 2 decades and one that they held since the Reconstruction, he called these new Republicans, these Republican victories, messengers of hate, fearmongers.
They stopped every piece of legislation. They didn't, they didn't even vote. They didn't even vote for campaign finance reform.
Tyranny of the majority, you know what? They obstructed a lot of what the American people didn't want. There's a collective sigh of relief that health care, as it was proposed by the Clintonistas, was stopped.
Well, I tell you, I think the contract for America could save Feinstein, could save Kennedy. I think the Republicans are gloating. They're obstructionists. They do not appear to be doing anything legislatively. All they want to do is make Clinton look like a fool, and it's going to backfire.
It's totally
and you're
not
going to
true.
have victories in Wisconsin, California, Georgia. I'll give you a chance to make your point in an uninterrupted way when we come back in just a moment. Sorry, I got a break.
Hello, AT&T? This is a member of True Rewards. My husband and I love your free miles and minutes. But how about something for the kids? A vacation at Disney World, perhaps. Stuff from the Disney store is lovely.
Now, only members of AT&T True Rewards can get a world of special offers from Disney. Just spend $25 a month on AT&T long distance.
Anything Disney is fine. Not for me, for the children.
Your true voice.
In 1492, Columbus discovers the New World. 1969, man reaches into space. In 2192, our biggest discovery yet, we settle on a new planet. And this time, we're not alone.
Oh, Lord.
Earth 2, we colonize Sunday, November 6th on NBC.
Russ Jeffries, the kind of leader we need as supervisor. Leadership, working for jobs and economic expansion. Leadership to protect our water supply and our environment. Leadership to manage our highways. Russ Jeffries is the only candidate for supervisor with a proven track record for starting, expanding, and supporting programs for senior citizens. Vote Russ Jeffries. Leadership for a change.
See ya on the road.
Sunday nights at 11:30 on KSBW8.
Here it is. This is America, and I'm pleased to call your attention to a very interesting contribution to understanding politics in the 90s. All's Fair, the story, the combined story. Mary and James, married couple to be sure, happily so. 1 year you ever. Congratulations. You were going to say James when I rudely interrupted you.
I'll just say, look at this. This is what you got. The Republican contract says we're going to give everybody in America a tax break. We're going to increase defense spending. We're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. And we're going to balance the budget. Now, if you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'm going to sell you.
Tell the young woman you're sitting with there.
Well, I'm just saying, that is what they promising you. They're going to do all. They're going to give you everything that you want. And then you got the president saying, I have cut this deficit by almost $600 billion. It is time that we all belly up to the bar and contribute to this. Now, sure, short-term's much better politics. Here, take some money. You know, no pain, no nothing. Just take it all.
Bill, we're not getting out of here without saying this.
What?
When Clinton, if you read the agenda, the Bob Woodward book, the reason that Clinton was able to pass his deficit reduction was on George Bush's spending caps. I didn't interrupt you, don't interrupt me. And in fact, at the same time, what he wanted to put through, and what failed, was his investment package of some $200 million. And he didn't even get his $16 million stimulus package through, obstructed by those Republicans that want to conserve your tax dollars, all right? The only reason you've got deficit reduction, and it's clear in its history,
not one Republican voted for it.
Bush's
not one Republican voted for it. Now the Reagan Bush people are saying they actually cut the deficit. I mean, these people will say anything, folks. Don't. I mean, just, you know better than that.
Yes, sir. You wanted to ask.
I find it hard to really understand exactly what a Republican and a Democrat are. If you know what I'm saying. It's like I listen to both of you right now, and it's just like it sounds like it's just battling back and forth. It doesn't make
Did
a
you
lot of
vote
sense.
last time?
Yes.
I know you'll be honest. And who'd you vote for?
Ross Perot.
Politics in our, unless someone asked us these questions. You're exactly right.
Yes.
Wondering if you all caught a lot of flack from your respective parties when your relationship was known about.
Did anybody think this was sleeping with the enemy and upset? No?
Yes.
Some did.
It was not a Republican-Democrat thing. It was a woman-man thing.
Right. Did you apologize for the crossword puzzle, a copy of which I have here?
No.
Sniveling, hypocritical Democrats. Stand up and be counted.
They are.
On second thought, shut up and sit down. You didn't... Who said George Bush is a racist?
Maxine Waters.
Who called George Bush a tax evader? That fellow who claims Texas so he doesn't have to pay taxes in Maine.
Bill Clinton.
So you did this in the throes of a depression, did you?
What is this, a test?
Yeah, but didn't you have to apologize for
the political equivalent of swallowing goldfish. I mean, come on, this is, it's
not important.
Huh?
You don't like the question.
No, I just think the crossword puzzle was just much ado about nothing. She sent it out. I don't think it amounted to a hill of beans. Mm-hmm. How many people knew about the crossword puzzle? Nobody. That just stuffed it. She was just having fun with, like I say, it's a political equivalent.
Are you defending me? Or
I'm not defending you. I'm just saying.
It's nice to see.
It's just a big nothing. It's just like swallowing goldfish.
Well, it's nice to see him come to you.
I think he was attacking me. He's saying I was ineffective, ineffectual.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Barbershop singing is truly an art form, and now you can enjoy one of the best when the Cypressaires celebrate their 39th annual show with Remember Radio. The performance takes place October 29th at the Pacific Grove Middle School, featuring popular radio songs from the 1940s. Tickets are $10. Proceeds help support several local charities, including Heartspring. Serving your community, we're Coast Federal Bank.
Creative Italian and California country dishes set the mood for Monterey's fun social dining spot. Monterey Joe's will alert your senses with fresh, innovative recipes. Enjoy the exhibition cooking. Watch as the chefs prepare mouth-watering fresh pastas, seafood, and other Italian and California country specialties, as well as fabulous pizzas from the wood-burning oven. Indulge yourself and your friends with your favorite beverage while you watch. Then eat, and then... Monterey Joe's, 2149 North Fremont, Monterey.
In Petaluma, we used 115 gallons of paint. In Milpitas, we expanded our produce department. And in Santa Rosa, we remodeled from ceiling to floor. Right now, you'll find a fresh new look in 180 Lucky stores, from Truckee to Turlock. And to celebrate, Red Delicious and Granny Smith apples are 29 cents a pound, the lowest price of the year. So come to Lucky today. It's fresher, brighter, better. You'll love what Lucky looks like now.
Some people will go to any length to get extra real California cheese on their pizza. But hey, all you gotta do is ask. And just by entering the extra cheese sweepstakes, you could win this entertainment system. So order extra cheese and enter where you see this seal.
Hi, Bertie. Hey, mind if I drop in for breakfast?
Yeah.
Great. Yogurt. Healthy as all outdoors, huh? With trail mix. Looks delicious. Here, thanks. Great meal. Whoa! Could be my last. Yogurt. Good fast food from the makers of milk.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to travel in space?
Or to explore the ocean floor?
Or how they create those awesome special effects on TV?
Then watch and feed your mind. An all-new show where kids can find out the neatest stuff.
Can you believe this is math and science?
And meet the coolest people.
Wow.
So check in and check it out.
And remember, don't just watch TV.
Feed your mind.
This one boy called me a dog-faced bitch.
So this 12-year-old is suing her school for allowing sexual harassment. Next, Donahue.
Shut up, kid.
All's fair. Their picture on the cover. Will you work for the Republican presidential nominee in '96?
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Will you work for Bill?
When